everyone. My name is Louise Roper and I am the Principal Recruitment Consultant on the Association Memberships team at Beaumont People. With me today, I have Tyler, who is a Senior Recruitment Consultant within our Charities team. He specialises in fundraising and marketing roles. Welcome to Ask Me Anything, a 10-minute power session where we discuss current topics and issues relevant to today's recruitment landscape. Tyler, what is today's topic?
So glad you asked, Louise. Today's topic is how to negotiate your salary in your current job. And for everyone, look, we are going to try and answer any questions that you have. Just go ahead and pop them in the comment section of the chat, and we'll try to get to them in this session. If not, we'll respond. We'll find out some way. I'm sure there's somehow that we can get in touch with people with those questions afterwards.
Yeah, we will. So I guess the first thing we wanted to talk about was when you're going to negotiate your salary, you need to know your worth. And to know your worth, you need to do your research. So before you do anything, before you go and organise your meeting with your manager to talk about your salary increase, you really need to do your research. So you need to research and scan the market for similar roles, similar to yours, and find out what other organisations are paying. The best places to look are obviously Seek, Indeed, Google your job title, Google the industry you work in, and basically just see where your salary lies within that. And start collating the evidence, because you'll need the evidence to go into your meeting. Some other things you could probably do is talk to your peers, talk to your colleagues if you feel comfortable. That might be a little bit awkward, but speak to some peers, speak to some friends if they're in the same industry as you, working a similar role. The other also thing would be if you're a member of any groups. If you're a member of any groups, or if you're a member of an industry association, a lot of them have salary surveys. So that's also somewhere where you can start collating your evidence.
It's so important, Louise. And I think, as you mentioned, gathering that evidence, so that you've got as much data to support, a potential business case to have your salary reviewed. In addition to that, I would also say, having a look at your current role and the roles and responsibilities, and developing a bit of a list, a little bit of a brag list of those completed and successful projects that you've delivered, and just looking more broadly at those achievements and the value that you've added in your role, and any additional scope or changes in responsibilities over time that really kind of helps develop that stronger business case around, for a review of that salary. And also have a think about, because no increase is for free, is around, what are the capabilities or that you and capacity that you have for potential additional scope of future work and projects. I think another thing that's important to reflect upon is really having that awareness of the strengths and the achievements that you bring, but also, areas of development and how you might address these when you do have that conversation with your manager. I think, overall, it's really, what your contributions are to the business now and in the future that are going to help develop that stronger business case.
Yeah, completely agree. And a good opportunity to do that would be on your performance reviews. So look back at any previous performance reviews and, what did you and your manager agree that you needed to achieve? What projects and outcomes, and have you completed those? Because like you said, if you look at what past work you've done, but also what opportunities, and again, if you've got performance reviews coming up, it's a great opportunity then to go, okay, what's the business got? What's happening in the business in the next year? How can I contribute to that? So I definitely would look at past performance reviews as well to start collating your evidence as well. So our first, I guess, tip is research and start collating evidence. I guess the other thing is it money that you really want? Because we all think, I want more money, I want more salary, I'll be happy if I have more money. But really, would we? Because like Tyler, when we're recruiting for roles, money obviously is a big part of it. We've all got bills to pay. But there was also other things that's really important that you should also consider before you go in and just ask for money.
Absolutely. I think, as part of that reflection and really understanding for yourself, what is the most ideal outcome from this discussion? And obviously, the brass tacks of an increase of your salary, which we're talking about, is important, but there would be some other non-financial benefits that could really help I think from your perspective, you want to walk away from this negotiation table with things that would add a lot of value to you, whether it's additional and meaningful professional development opportunities and training courses. In the charity sector in particular, is there an opportunity where perhaps they don't have the budget to increase, but they might be able to give you additional leave? Having that additional flexibility to working from home, which has become more of a standard now, but even exploring that further, just so that you've got some additional kind of bullet points that you can bring to the discussion that could help that kind of management with your manager.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like we know from talking to candidates, yes, salaries are important and salaries are increasing, but everybody always asks about training and development opportunities. So that could be something, whether you ask if there's a budget, or whether you can ask if there's things are opening up again now. So is there conferences that you can attend? Is there training and development opportunities? Like you just said, is it a 4-day week? We at Beaumont do a 4-day week. So is it a 4-day week? Is it a 9-day fortnight? Is it the leave? Is it hours? So when you're going into your meeting, you've done all your research, but you're actually really thinking about what outcome you want and what outcome you'll be happy with. And I think when you've done your research, going back to the money thing, when you do your research, there's going to be a broad range of what people are getting paid. So you need to really think about, okay, what have I done for the business? What can I do for the business? And realistically, what would I be happy with? And what do I deserve as well? And that's so you're going into your meeting fully prepared.
Absolutely.
So we've done our research. We've established what we want. What's next?
How to raise the conversation with your manager. So, and this really, I think conversation about salary, we've heard it that it's taboo, but it really shouldn't be. This is a positive conversation that you're having about your future, about your contributions with your manager, and you want to treat it like a positive conversation. Yeah. And I think the first step that I would take is really setting that expectation of the intent of your conversation. So, like you've spent time to do your research, collect some data. You want to have the discussion with your manager that also gives them the courtesy of, hey, look, I'd love to chat about my future remuneration and what's the best way for us to discuss that, so that they can go ahead and do some of their own preparation, do some of their kind of market scans as well. So that you've really set that clear expectation of intent, but two, you're also giving them some time to do the research that you've done yourself.
Yeah. And also think about the timing of your meeting, and time of the week, month, year as well, where we are in the financial year, because a lot of this could be dependent on financial budgets. In our financial year, new year begins in July. So really think about that as well. Probably don't book a meeting on a Friday afternoon when everyone's a bit tired and probably doesn't really want to talk about this type of stuff. So think about what your manager might have going on as well. And I think you're right in saying, set the expectation about what you want the conversation to be, so they know, what you're talking about, and then can allow enough time for it. So I think really consider the timing of that as well. Now could be a good time to start the conversation. We've got, new financial year starts in July. And look, it's probably not going to be one conversation. It's probably going to be multiple conversations, and there is going to be a bit of negotiation. So just think about when you're going to start that conversation. And again, go back to performance reviews. When's your performance review? Can it wait till then, or do you need to bring it up beforehand?
You're not going to, don't surprise your manager at the end of the whip saying, hey, look, I want to chat now about my salary review. Give them that courtesy and that space of time. And actually in doing that, not everyone loves role play, but you can actually practice that conversation, with your friends, with your family, to see, what is the best way if you're feeling a little bit nervous of how you're going to raise that. So, you can go in feeling really confident, really comfortable of how you're going to raise that, but then of course being prepared for when you actually have the conversation with your manager with that real confidence.
Yeah, absolutely, because you're going to have to negotiate issue. No one else is in the room with you, so you're going to have to negotiate. So absolutely practice role play. No one loves a role play, but do your role play. Have a mock discussion with some family members, people that you trust, that might be able to fire some questions at you that your manager might. But I guess, if you've done your research and you don't think your salary is in line with where it should be, you know what your worth is based on what you've done and what actually you can do for the business. I think that's really, really important. Think about what you really want. Is it money? Is it other things that might have a monetary value, but it's not just money in your pocket? And then have the conversation. It doesn't need to be taboo. Like you say, positive conversation.
Yeah. Those three things, and that should work, right, Louise?
No. Right. So we're off. Are we off to go and book a meeting with our managers now?
Pretty much. And look, that's a lot to pack into 10 minutes. And we've gone well over, but hopefully, you found something of value and use from today. And, as we said, please don't hesitate to jump onto Beaumont People's website. If you have any questions, you can get in touch with Louise or myself or a number of the other consultants who look after different specialty areas to support you and help.
We're more than happy to help. Thanks, Tyler.
Yeah. Thanks, Louise. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.